Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Stranger Talks. With that being said, I'm here with a wonderful guest by the name of Amy. Amy, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing excellent. I remember it was your birthday yesterday, okay? So tell me, how did that go?
Yeah, it was good. I went out to eat with my mom and my daughter.
Okay, where at?
So we went to this place called Lopez. It's a Mexican restaurant on West Belfort and 59.
Okay, Lopez. How good is the cuisine?
Yeah, it's good. Like I've actually been going there since I was like a little kid. It's like the first restaurant that I took both of my kids to too.
Wow, it's very nostalgic. I like that. Okay, cool. What did you order?
I ordered Lopez dinner. It's like a mixed plate. It has like cheese enchiladas,
Wow,
chili relleno.
I'm salivating. Oh, yummy.
I always bring the chili relleno home, and then I make eggs. Like I cut it up and I put it in eggs in the morning.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. I'm glad you had fun. Are you kind of like excited to celebrate another birthday, or are you just like another day in the park?
To be honest with you, it's weird because I think like every year I want to do something on my birthday, but like it never ends up happening that way. So
Mm,
it's always nice. It's always nice to like have, you know what I'm saying, like a day where people recognize you.
yeah, that's good. That's really good, especially surrounded by people who actually care about you, not just like randoms, who are just there for the Instagram like reels or whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? The crazy thing actually is like, to be honest with you, I have so many people reach out to me that I work with, and like that, I don't know, like it's meaningful too, that people even like take their time to.
Yes. Yeah. To kind of just, shout you out, like remember you.
Right, exactly.
That makes sense. Okay, so with that being said, right, I would like to just know a little bit more about you, like your origins, your upbringings, like who you are. So like, who is Amy?
Yeah, so I was born in Houston. I grew up in Houston and in South Florida, um, like Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale area. But I moved back because I just like to be around family. Um, I grew up, I mean, my parents divorced when I was young, so I lived, like part of the time with my mom, part of the time with my dad. But
Yeah.
I ended up moving back to Texas when I was maybe like 10 years old, and my mom actually was sick, so I didn't really see her that much
Oh, wow.
after, yeah, after I moved here. So, um,
Okay.
but yeah, Houston's definitely my home. It's definitely where I feel like the most comfortable.
Exactly. That makes sense. Like being familiar with, you know, the terrain makes it more safe and makes it more easier to just navigate your way around like Houston, right? But you said you were born outside of the city, correct?
No, no, I was actually born in Houston.
Are you born in Houston? Okay. Wow. Do you come from a big family or like what's your dynamic?
So I'm an only child, like,
What? Woo
but
woo! Only
yeah.
child. Let's get it. I like that.
But I had two stepsisters, so I mean, like, we're not blood related, but my dad married their mom, so I do have two sisters.
Okay.
My dad's actually not married to their mom anymore, but but they're still my sisters,
Yeah.
because we grew up together.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah,
Which one are you? Like, are you the oldest, the middle? Which position?
yeah, I'm the oldest.
Wow. Okay. How is it being the oldest and having like two other, girls like watching your every move?
To be honest with you, it's really kind of, I don't know, it's kind of weird because I didn't live with them until I was a junior in high school,
Mm,
so I was already 16. So um, and my I don't know, my stepmom was not a great person.
mm,
Um, so she was very like jealous almost, um, of my relationship with my dad. And so it was, it made it hard,
yeah.
especially when you're growing up without your other parent,
Uh-huh.
to have, you know what I'm saying, somebody like basically make you feel like you are not wanted.
Mm. And where does that envy like derive from though? Like, is it
I don't. I don't know. It's actually something that like is kind of baffling to me because I can't imagine that you like meet someone, you fall in love with them,
Mm-hmm.
you want to get married to them, and then you don't want their child
Mm,
in the picture. It just doesn't make sense. Like, you know that child needs their parents, you know?
or
So, um, and actually, the crazy thing is, my stepmom was actually friends with, or she was married to my dad's friend.
mm,
So she was actually like at my parents' wedding, and I mean, she
wow.
even has like a picture of her holding me when I was a baby. So it makes it even, it kind of adds another like layer to the dynamic that,
Yeah.
you know, how could I don't know, like if you maybe if you just met a child or whatever, you
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any like background, I could see maybe you being, I don't know, I still can't see it, but
Wow. I think just from hearing the story as a person, looking out. I mean, third person looking out, looking in. She wanted your mom's life.
yeah.
She wanted to be that woman, and she failed at it. So that resentment and that animosity, like, just carried on to you. Wow, some haters in this life, yo. All right,
Yeah.
are you
You know,
still like cool with her? Like,
oh sorry, I didn't hear you.
no, are you guys like still, you know?
Yeah, actually we are. The crazy thing is that now that my that she's not married to my dad anymore, like we have a, you know, good relationship. I
Wow,
mean, not like I see her all the time, but I mean, like I still keep in touch with her. Like she wished me happy birthday yesterday.
oh, that's
So,
brilliant, really nice. Okay, so she's not really a bitter lady at the end of the day.
and no, but you know, the crazy thing is that I think that I used that like like those emotions,
Yeah.
like that was motivating to me in a lot of ways. And so then like now that I don't have that, it almost like I'm like, who do I, you know, you need to really do things for yourself, obviously, but you know, there's a lot of things that can motivate people. And now I don't have that like hater there, you know what I'm saying, that I'm trying to prove.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you got to find other source of motivation. Like,
Yeah.
you spoke about your child, right? Like, that's another source of motivation right there, like a positive source of motivation, right? Um, with that being said, would you like to go into, like, after you graduated high school, like, what was your ambition? Like, what did you want to accomplish
Yeah.
in life?
Honestly, like I really wanted to, I mean, I wanted to go to college and I went to college for a couple of years, but I ended up just by chance kind of falling into like the career that I'm in.
Okay.
I just went through a staffing agency and they placed me at a title company. And so I didn't even know what a title company was. I was just like hired to do data entry to open orders. And I had, you know, really I was blessed in being able to learn that business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of an industry where you have to, you just have to learn. And so it's, there's no like college degree that you can get, but it pays well.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make like, you know, 60 to $70,000 as a escrow officer or more, depending if you have like a book of business
Mm-hmm.
that you're bringing with you. So, I mean, I ended up not finishing school. I've thought about going back maybe to get a degree in communications,
Okay.
um, but I just don't need it. So it's like one of those things that,
You pulled a Steve Jobs. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Like, I mean,
Congrats.
if you don't need it, like, why are you going to spend the money to go? You know,
Exactly.
it's a nice thing to have.
Of course.
It's just, and I mean, in some ways, like, I do wish that I, you know, I might finish at some point.
Yeah. No, but like you said, right? You have you have the qualifications, and they saw that in you, and then you went through the training, and you became really good at that one thing, and therefore, like, the college. title or degree. It's just it's an accolade. That's pretty much what it is, like an achievement. What did you do, like in your lifetime? But some people who do graduate with their degree go on another, like, career pivot. They do something totally different outside of their degree. So it's just all about
Yeah, it's
mission.
interesting because actually the role that I'm currently in, so I was an escrow officer for years, and
Okay.
then I was a title company branch manager.
Wow.
But I really wanted to, I wanted to do marketing, and the company that I worked for, this was like maybe 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
um, told me they're like, well, we don't like all of our marketing reps have marketing degrees in marketing, or
Exactly.
they have a 4-year degree. So when I took a break from title for a while when I had my daughter, and I was writing investment guides for like real estate investment guides for a couple of websites. And I ended up just like going on LinkedIn and I applied for a title rep job and I got it. So like I wouldn't really have maybe even tried to go back into my industry as marketing or business development because I had worked for that company that told me, that they require their marketing reps to have a 4-year degree. My company doesn't, and the last company that I was at didn't either. But it's like they're more concerned are if you have a client base that you're going to bring with you. If you have a client base, like they're not as worried about you having a college degree.
Mm, that's good. They saw your value, yo. They saw your value, and they those type of companies. I think about like the Wolf of Wall Street, right? Is obviously those people who have those 4-year degree. They look at you as more prestigious, like this and that. You can get things done because of what school or what credibility you have. But at the end of the day, when you get to the business firm and you're actually in the business world, like none of that stuff matters anymore. You start from like ground zero and you have to build your credibility all over again. And you did a fantastic job. Would you say that being in that company, it was more male dominated, or like it had the balance of female and male?
To be honest with you, like it really does have a balance of female and male,
Okay.
like presence. I do think that like in your senior management or like owners tend to be men.
Mm, okay.
And then you like the escrow officers, most escrow officers I'd say are women, but to be honest with you, the male escrow officers that I work with are really good at what they do.
Okay.
So it's like as far as I don't know, it's just it is a good mix. Like you can definitely anybody can start in title and work their way up and like have a good career, a solid like career where they can always go get a job.
For sure.
So definitely blessed to be in the industry that I'm in.
Yeah, congratulations. Like, you definitely, are living the American dream, right? You did.
Well, I don't know about no, I don't know about all that, but no, yeah, I am. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's it's really good.
Okay. And then you said marketing, right? Was the actual like major that you wanted to go into for college? Hmm.
Yeah, I went in. I mean, I was on a degree path to get a degree in business.
Okay.
So
So would you say you're kind of doing basically the same thing that you were initially, started?
yeah, kind of.
Okay.
And actually, like I didn't realize until I accidentally really got into this industry, but
Hmm.
um, and I work primarily with real estate investors.
Okay.
So like we're kind of different because most title companies don't like to work with investors. My company is specifically like designed for closing investor deals.
Mm-hmm.
And so um, that's another thing that like I get to help people make money in real estate, and that's always an incredible thing. But after kind of getting into this industry, I knew my parents were in real estate, but I guess I don't know, like they didn't really talk about it.
Exactly.
Um, but my grandparents, they moved to Florida from New Jersey, and they had a an auto detailing van. This is like back in the, I don't know, like 50s, 60s.
Mm.
They had this auto detailing van because people used to keep their cars like way longer. And so they would go, like, they would dye the carpet if there was like a stain or something, or they would like clean it, like anyway. So they had this van, and they came from New Jersey, and they did this. My grandfather did this for like, I don't know, a year or two, and saved his money. And then they bought a store with an apartment above it, and they lived in there. And then they just saved their money and started buying properties. So they went like in a very like short period of time, from owning that auto detailing van to like actually owning apartments and
Wow, that's actually a smart business move that your grandparents did. Like having living within the business you're running. It's like you're saving, because the business is paying for the place. It's like that's very intelligent. Wow, kudos to your people, yo.
it's always interesting. So like that's what, people, I work with people that, start out investing in
Hmm.
many different ways, but um yeah, it's pretty amazing to work with them. I actually recently started investing in properties myself, which is definitely something I probably wouldn't have done if it wasn't, for my clients. Actually, like hearing them negotiate deals
Uh huh.
has helped me learn how to do the same thing.
Wow, and that's the honestly like real well wealth. That's where wealth is accumulated in property. Like so you're in a fantastic scope of interest because that's never going to be out of business. Well,
Yeah, that's like I mean, it's really amazing to see
yeah.
people, especially like I get to see people when they start in the, business before they've even done their first deal.
Uh huh.
And I love when we get to pay an investor. We pay basically like an assignment fee, um, on the transaction, and I love paying those. Like it feels good to help your client make, 40, 50, $60,000.
Wow, look at that. Do you get nervous every time you are closing a deal with somebody? Do you get butterflies in your stomach every time, or are you just now like used to the?
No, I don't really. I mean, on my own deals, like because like I told you, I just started doing my own like investment deals.
Mhm.
I definitely do from that side, but like from the closing side, like in my role at my company, I don't really. I'm more like I just want to do whatever we need to do to get the deal closed.
Okay, that makes sense. Wow. So then, communication wise, are you speaking to the people, or are you like behind the scenes just making the paperwork?
So I bring in the business. Basically, like my job is to reach out to people
Mm,
and build relationships with them, and I bring in their business, and then we have a team of closers that closes the deal.
okay, that makes sense. You're like the bait. Go, you find people,
Yeah.
build your rapport. Okay, I like it.
I used to do the other part. I used to do the other part, but honestly, like, there's no way I would want to.
Yeah, the pressure.
I mean, like, I definitely appreciate and, respect our closers.
Hmm.
I just, I did that job for such a long time, and it's, it's a lot. Like, you have so many people, um, in every real estate transaction.
Hmm.
There's like, I don't know, 4 to 6 people at least that are involved, and it's a lot to manage all of that. And then, you have to make sure that you're following like state and federal regulations,
Of course.
um, and they're always changing. So yeah, it's definitely it's a lot. It's a lot to like to have to
Yeah.
do, and then you're on a deadline, and everybody, we're the last person. So the title company,
Hmm.
everybody is our client, and
Yeah.
really nobody is, we're nobody's client.
Okay.
So we're the ones that are going to get blamed at the end of the day. And you kind of have to like, you know, walk the line because, even if it's not your fault, you're
Mhm.
not going to sit there and like throw your client under the bus.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So you just kind of have to, I don't know, just be neutral um and just kind of go with the flow.
And
But yeah, at the end of the day, we're going to get blamed if something goes wrong. It's going to be on us.
wow, but that's an attest to your character, right? You guys are the ones in the forefront that have to, facilitate everything. And if anything goes bad, you guys do take accountability for it. So that shows a lot about your character, that you took on that role. In addition to that, my follow up thing is, do you think Texas is a good marketplace for what you do, or would you find other opportunities better else in another place?
No, absolutely. Texas is a great market. It's right now one of the big things that people are investing in is like RV parks, because they have so many rent spaces on that same property.
Okay.
Make you can own one property, manage that one property, but you're getting like rents from every RV pad that's there. So that's a really big investment strategy people are using right now. Single family homes, Houston, I mean, is still a good market for single family.
Mm-hmm.
It's slowed a little bit. So like 2 years ago, when the market kind of slowed down, um, I did have a lot of fix and flip investors who were working on multiple houses at the same time, and then those houses took longer, like they sat on the market for longer, and they probably had to drop the price down. So they ended up losing money. So I honestly lost several fix and flip investor clients because they just couldn't stay in the business.
Wow, that is very discouraging, but you guys prevailed
But
through it.
yeah, there's so many opportunities though. I mean, Houston's a great place. Texas, all of Texas, Dallas is great. San Antonio,
Uh huh.
Austin, the prices are really high, so it's kind of hard to make money on investment deals there right now. But um, there's there's really a way for anybody to get into real estate. Like even if you don't even have any money, like you can wholesale. Um, I don't know if you've ever seen like those commercials where they're like, you can
Mm-hmm.
do real estate deals with no money. Like that's real.
Yeah, the
We
market and strategy and things of that nature. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes so much sense. Like, I've always thought about real because I actually went into this path, a little bit after college. I was like, yo, I'm gonna get my license and be an agent or whatever, like assigned to a broker. And uh, there was a course paid for it, and I was cramming all these things, like uh, all the terminologies you guys use, because I am a science major, so I'm coming from the science scope of interest, right? I'm going into like the business aspect of things, and I'm just trying to see what I can retain from this background. And I'm learning about beneficiaries and all these type of things, like it, with that being said, it was so much for me. I was like, you know what? Let me just stay within what I know. Like let me not try to be a Swiss Army knife per se, and just like no, this is when you know something's not for you, you know something is not for you.
Yeah, and it's
Oh,
not for it isn't for everybody. But there's paths to get into real estate without like you don't even have to be a like an agent. Um, we could definitely, like talk later too, but wholesaling real estate is a great way to get into real estate. Basically what you do is you get a property under contract,
okay.
you get a good price, and then you find a buyer for it, and the buyer, you assign the contract to them. So basically like you make an assignment fee on that. And that's a lot of what we do at my company. But you just make the assignment fee on it. You don't have to be a licensed realtor. You're not showing a property to anybody. You're not acting as a realtor. You're actually an investor at that point.
Oh, that makes sense. Wow. Okay, so it's a lot of it's would you say low risk and then a lot of benefits? How would you?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think like in wholesaling, I mean, you could basically the only thing that you can really lose in wholesaling is the Like if you put an earnest money deposit down. So like, I mean, if you put like 250 or 500, like something around there, like that's all you're gonna lose. So I
Okay.
mean, you probably have wasted 250 to $500 on, you know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
things that you don't even remember that you bought. And so anyway, like chance you can make. I mean, typical like assignment fees can be are probably like around $5,000 to $20,000. But you can there's deals sometimes like I had a client of mine, I connected them with a friend that needed to sell his house. His house had been on the market for like 9 months, and they did a creative finance deal with him, basically where the buyer doesn't have to qualify for the loan. Um, they're taking over the existing mortgage payments,
Okay.
but they're not qualifying for the loan on their own. And that's what I invest in seller finance properties. So like I'm buying from individual people, and they're actually like acting as the bank. But on that deal that I connected my friend with my wholesale client ended up making $60,000 on that deal.
Wow.
So,
Incredible.
and they didn't come out of pocket any money.
It's amazing you're
So
saying these things.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it's just a trust factor, right? Building that relationship with your clients.
and really buyers, like anybody looking to get into doing like real estate wholesaling, the biggest thing is like for them to build a buyers list.
Mm,
So like if you have buyers, you already know where they want to buy homes. Obviously, you're going to focus on getting properties under contract that are in those areas.
exactly. That makes
If you already have the buyer, it's easier. You know what I mean? If you're trying to find the buyer after you've already got the property under contract, it's going to be a little bit harder.
okay. Brilliant. And being a first, actually not first child, only child, excuse me, um, you had obviously that experience from your grandparents. Like, it seems to me like you come from a lineage of like business family, right? Or business oriented people. So it all came natural to you, would you say? This type of.
Well, actually, like to be honest with you, I mean, part of my family, I guess on my mom's side, they kind of are, but on my dad's side,
Hmm.
um, they really had a lot of like financial opportunities that they could have taken advantage of. But there's like I definitely know that my grandma had like a poverty mindset, right?
Mm,
Um, you can have money and still have a poverty mindset, and what's going to end up happening is you're going to make bad financial decisions that are going to not be to your benefit at the end. Like the biggest thing is probably like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, my grandma did a reverse mortgage on her house. And I hate those. But basically, you take out this loan that allows you to stay in your home until you die.
well,
But that's not the reality of what occurs. What happens is at some point, you're going to need help taking care of yourself.
hmm.
Like most people don't just, you know what I'm saying, die in their home. Like that's just not the reality. So after you've done a reverse mortgage, they've basically taken all the equity in your house. So my grandma, if she wouldn't have done that, and she didn't need the money at that time, she just, I don't know why she did it, but if if she wouldn't have done that, she could have sold her house and she would have had like, I don't know, 250 to $400,000, 250,000 to $400,000. She could have sold her house for.
Exactly.
Um, and so she, I mean, like 250 on the minimum. She really ended up owing the bank $550,000, and we had to move her into like an assisted living, um, and put her in like a Medicare trust where they basically take everything that she has. So if she ever was to get any money or whatever, they're gonna get it. And
Wow.
now it's like to where we owe too much money, even if like we had the money to get her out of there and put her somewhere else, we would have to pay back all of that money that basically the government has paid, to subsidize her care.
Yes.
So,
How can somebody get into that monopoly where the bank will kind of, hoodwink them into signing that contract of like, okay, well, you stay here till you die, and then we know when you get older, you're not gonna be able to take care or pay us back. Therefore, we're gonna, you know, take everything back. Like, how does somebody get into that bad contract?
I don't know. It's kind of crazy to be honest with you because I've done, you know, a lot of signings. I used to just sign papers too for
Uh,
loans, but a lot of people, you know, I don't know, like they they either the biggest thing that I hear from people who are doing reverse mortgage is like, I don't have any family to leave my house to anyway.
okay,
Um,
that makes
or they're thinking there may be so like I think you have to be 65. So these people are like 65 to 70 years old. And a lot of people, I think they get to that point in life and they don't think that they're going to live to be 100, right?
hmm
My grandma's 88 years old now. So, like, she didn't think she was going to live to be 88 years old, right? So they end up um, doing that, thinking that, that they're not going to be alive for that long and they don't have any family to leave it to. They're not realizing that you own a home so you can build equity in it. Like that's, you know, something you can use to take care of yourself. Um, but they're not looking at it from that perspective. And in that situation, like when you're on a fixed income and you've done a reverse mortgage, are you gonna go and like repair your roof for $15,000-$20,000? Like you're probably not because you're like, oh, the bank is going to get my house anyway. I don't want to do repairs. So a lot of these homes end up being like neglected.
wow,
And then that's another thing that like creeps up on people. I mean, when you're old, the last thing that you need is a house that's falling apart.
exactly.
You So I just think that goes with that poverty mindset. Like my grandma could have taken her money that she had in the bank and paid off her loan and you know what I'm saying? And she still like
And then sold the house and then profited from the property rather than allowing the bank just to take everything. Yeah.
right, exactly.
Wow. And it's just the safe mentality, right? She was looking at it like as a temporary thing instead of like a long term like investment, like,
It's the same thing as if you go into the store and you're like, okay, I only have this much money today. So I'm going to buy like the smallest package of dishwasher
Mm-hmm.
cleaner or the smallest package of, whatever it is. You know that you're paying more for that small package, like for each item that's in there, instead of thinking about it like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm going to get the like bigger one that's cheaper and it's going to last me longer. So I'm not going to have to keep going to the store.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
it's that same exact thing. It's like I want to keep more of my money in my pocket because I'm scared that I'm not going to have more money,
Instead of just
you know.
actually getting the proper thing so that way you don't have to keep coming back. Mm. Wow. This is very insightful how you were explaining it using analogies and stuff to compare. Wow. Do you think also education is another factor why people make these type of like impulsive decisions?
To be honest with you, I think like it's really like financial education and like personal finance education. But as far as like just education in school, I think that's like one of the things where they're really failing people
Mm,
because they I feel like the most important things for them to teach in school are like credit management,
of course.
you know, budgeting, like things like that. It's like every day so you can make smart decisions. But that's kind of left to families. So if you have a family that, you know what I'm saying, like has never really had money or somebody in your family has that kind of like poverty mindset, it's going to basically go to everybody else.
It's gonna just
You
not stay within the family lineage. It's just gonna. Yep, that's what happens. And you well spoken, you said it really well, described it well, and it's awful that your grandmother had to go through that. And then I hope it was
It is.
a learning experience, for the family, perhaps.
Yeah, it definitely it's not, but I mean, certain people have that's the thing is like you could have all the opportunities in life. My grandmother really didn't have to. I'm not saying that she, didn't have things in her life that were hard, but
Yeah.
for the most part, she was always taken care of. Like you know, she didn't really have to worry about anything.
Okay.
Um, but so like, and she made bad decisions. So like, that's, at the end of the day, everybody's responsible for themselves.
Correct.
If you've been told like, don't do this, and you find yourself in that situation, you kind of have only yourself to blame for it.
Exactly right. There's a proverb, a old saying, right? A hard ass makes a hard head makes a soft ass, right, or something like that. And
Yeah, yeah,
wow. Okay, so now I want to kind of like segue into your personal like triumphs and trials in life. Like, what are things? It can be from the past or maybe recently, things that you have overcame in this life.
yeah. So I think for me, like the biggest thing that I've overcome is fear. And I think that's like the biggest thing that holds most people back.
Mm.
I definitely did go through because did have a, like challenging childhood. And so I definitely had emotional things that I had to work on as an adult, like just so I could have a happy life. One of the things that overcoming that has been huge too. And really like what has helped me the most was, I mean, I read like all kinds of self-help books, like all kinds of things,
Of course.
but really meditating, and I know it sounds stupid, and people used to say this, and I was like, whatever, meditating is not going to help me. Um, but actually, it does. So that's a huge thing that's like been very um, beneficial in my life.
Of course. Okay. The trials and things. And then if you would like to share, did the separation of your parents contribute to anything when you were little, like positive or negative?
Yeah, I mean, like I feel like everything really has a positive and a negative. Like
Okay.
it's, you know, so there's definitely things like I said that I had to work on within myself to be okay, just like so I could live a happy life. So that, definitely affected me. But then on the reverse side, like it's made me work harder.
Uh-huh.
And so, if a lot of times if you don't have that motivation, it kind of goes back to like what I was saying before about my stepmom. If I didn't have that, then maybe I wouldn't have worked as hard.
Yeah, it definitely unlocked something within your soul. Like, and wow, okay. So the next thing is like, how did the birth of your daughter like impact you? Like, in your mentality, did it change? Did it become different? Like, in that aspect.
So being a parent is definitely it's rewarding, but it is not an easy thing to be. Well, it's not an easy thing to be a good parent, like to make sure that your kids, you know, finish school. Like there's, obviously it's easier to just let somebody do what they want to do, right?
Of course.
So that part of parenting can be very can
Challenge.
be very challenging,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to get somebody to do something that's going to make their life better,
Mm,
and they're like acting like you're a bad person or like you're, you know what I'm saying, being
yeah.
mean to them.
Yeah.
Um, it's definitely something that takes really. Sometimes you have to wait for your kids to be adults. Sometimes people, kids don't talk to them when they're adults. So
Exactly.
it's not a job you know is gonna come out a certain way.
Mhm.
You have a child, you don't know what that child is gonna be like. Obviously, you know, parenting is, plays a big role in it, but everybody has their own personality. So I have two kids. So I have a son. My son is 22.
Oh wow, brilliant.
So
Okay. N-
yeah, so and that's like definitely when he was in high school and, a teenager, we fought a lot just
Mhm.
because I wanted him to have the best life he possibly could. But like him being older now, like he definitely can see that that's what I was doing. I wasn't just trying to, ruin his
Yeah,
life,
yeah, definitely.
make him
Gotta
not have fun.
give him a good blueprint on how to succeed in this life. Especially that you have gone through that and you're living proof of that. I just think emotional intelligence has a big part on character development. Um, I was watching this pod the other day, and it had this doctor in psychology. He was speaking about EQ, right? This IQ intelligence, and then there's emotional
Hmm.
intelligence. And he was just saying that basically, an average human exhibits like 400 emotions a day, and emotions are the fuel of your behavior. So he's helped many people, business entrepreneurs and emotional intelligence, all the way to just like regular average people. And what he has helped them achieve is just being patient and present in the moment, right? Trying to teach a young person something, knowing that they might not understand it like right away, but when they get it wrong, having that patience to like go back to the drawing board and explain it in a way that they will get it. And the clients he has helped, he's seen them actually translate this type of behavior into their child's sports team, right? If you are emotionally like intelligent individual, whatever business or whatever thing that you're running is going to flourish because you understand people and how to meet them at their level.
Yeah, no, that's definitely like that's a huge part. Emotional like EQ is definitely it makes a big difference in any, like you said, anything you do, parenting, work, um, being able to connect with people, and then also like taking the time to get to know people and listen to them,
Correct.
is like super important. I recently had an experience with that. I So like a year and a half ago, I had somebody call on a property and ask this property owner how much they wanted for their property,
Mm,
and they told him $2.5 million. So I um I actually, like, a couple months later, I reached out to them and I started talking to them. So I talked to them for like over a year. I really like took the chance or like to get to know them. It's two brothers. They also have There's 8 siblings total that own this property.
okay.
Um, but I told him, I said, okay, so um, my partner and I want to put an offer on this property, and so I need like you know, an idea of what y'all want for it.
Yeah.
And he came back. So the price that he told me is $1.4 million. So just having that like year long relationship with them and talking to them, they their price, that's a huge difference. Like 2.5 million to 1.4 million is huge.
Yeah.
So just like in even in business, just taking the time to get to know people instead of just like, you know, a lot of times the quickest way is not the best way.
Of course. Of course. 100%. And you said it well. You spoke about this in a very insightful manner. How you spoke about your son and all the way to your business endeavors. How you have used these tactics to to help like alter the situation for the better outcome. This is really good. This is really good. EQ is something that I'm trying to also um, master myself, because a lot of people just look at there's so many people on earth, right? There's 8 billion people here, so we just overlook a lot of things with how a person is feeling, their day to day and things of that nature. And that's really cool. Okay, so now I want to transition into like more about your triumphs in life. What have you felt that you've achieved like a high accolade?
I mean, to be honest with you, um, like I bought my first house last year. I know it's like stupid because, but
Congrats.
that was
Oh, for real. Congratulations. Good.
so just like being a single parent is it's harder. Anytime you're doing something by yourself, right?
Hmm.
Because um you obviously have to you have to pay for everything yourself. You don't have two incomes. So like yeah, so that was a huge thing for me. Um
Okay. And would you say it's harder now for home buyers to purchase a house in this era, or it's much easier?
I think it's harder in ways because people, if you're just trying to like qualify for a bank loan, it can be difficult depending on what job that you're in. Um, because they want to see like a W-2 with, you know what I'm saying, like this you at this certain job for this amount of time. You can change like companies, but you have to be in the same role. If you change roles,
Hmm.
it starts over. So you have to like wait. You know what I mean? Like they really want you to be in your same like career for 2 years. But there's there's a path that anybody can buy a house. Like what I did with my house actually is um I had some friends of mine that bought a house in Florida and they needed to sell their house. I ended up seller financing their house from them and I didn't have the down payment even. So what I did was I um I paid my monthly like mortgage payment to them, and then I paid them $1,000 a month until I paid the deposit like or down payment off. So I
Oh,
just made my last payment to my down payment like a couple days ago.
congrats.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a way. There's a way for anybody to. That's what I was saying earlier. It's like anybody can get into real estate. You don't necessarily have to have money or even be able to qualify for a bank loan. Like you can you can work out something with the actual property owner, and it's beneficial to both people because then that property owner, instead of getting, so like if I list my house for sale for $200,000, I'm going to end up paying closing costs and commission, so I'm not even going to get the whole 200,000, right?
Exactly.
But if I was to sell or finance my house to somebody, then over a 30-year loan at like 5 to 6%, you're going to end up making 400,000
Um,
instead of 200,000. So people can actually turn their own, like each property that you buy into like a miniature bank, right? Like where that property, you're giving the loan on that property. It's actually a really good investment strategy to exit real estate because if you had a bunch of like rental properties and you're getting older, you don't feel like managing them anymore. You can you can sell or finance them. Then the buyer has the responsibility of repairing the property, right? So you don't have to do that anymore. The property, the loan is guaranteed by the property. So if the person stops paying, you're going to get the property back. And then,
mhm.
if it's 5, 10 years later, the property is going to be worth more money. So you really have like, there's some risk, like the person could come and like totally destroy the house, I guess. Like, but
Yeah.
by that point, you've already gotten a down payment from them, and you know what I'm saying. So
You have like, insurance and things of that nature.
yeah, like you protect yourself, but for like really the way that it worked out with my friends, they ended up buying, they were able to give me a really good interest rate. Like my interest
Mm,
rate's 5%, which is below what I could have gotten a bank loan for at this time.
yeah.
And they were able to buy their house. And the difference between what their house payment is and what mine is almost exactly the difference between this house and their new house. So like by seller financing the house to me, they end up getting like they're not paying more monthly on their new house
Because they're
because
going
they're making,
directly with the person. They're not going with the entity, which is the bank.
and it puts money back into, this is something I'm like kind of passionate about because
Okay.
we didn't even have banks like 150 years ago, or not even that long ago. We didn't have banks.
Hmm.
Like if you wanted to start a business or something, you needed money, you went to either your family or you went to like the
Yeah.
rich person in town and you asked them to give you a loan,
Exactly.
but you didn't go to a bank. now it's like people are almost even, oh, like I would never sell or finance my
Yeah,
house.
it's
You know,
they're
like
programmed. It's like a
it's
dogmatic.
programmed
Yeah,
exactly. That's
yeah, yeah,
exactly what I was gonna say. That's part of like the whole school thing. It's like we go to school
yeah.
and we learn to be programmed into this. You have to do things in this specific
Exactly.
way. And now I've done this already with two properties, and my dad will still come to me and be like, "Why would somebody let you buy that?" I'm like, because they're making the money. First of all, their investment strategy is not to hold the property. Like
Exactly.
some people are coming in, they renovate a property and they want to get out. Even if, and this can be on like businesses too, like motels, RV parks, self
Mhm.
storage, like anything like that. Some people's, their like job is to go in and renovate a property or develop a property. They don't want to sit there and manage it long term. They just want to, they went in, they bought the land cheap, they built whatever, and then they want to sell it to somebody. And so there's cash flowing businesses all over the US
Mhm.
that are for sale that you can buy. And a lot of them you can use creative finance.
Yes.
Like you don't have to go through a bank. So
Yes. That's good. Well
which
spoken.
when you don't see the opportunity, like you really have to, it's almost like, you know how they say seeing is believing?
Of course.
That's what, like I can tell you all day, oh, you could buy a cash flowing business like with zero money down. You're going to probably not really believe me.
Mm.
But if you see it with your own eyes, then you're going to believe that.
Yeah. It definitely is possible. Everything that you're saying is achievable. You just have to apply yourself, right? A person has to apply themselves and go out and make these connections with people and form these good relationships. Okay, so now my question to you as a young individual, right? Aspiring in the future to have a home. Do you think it's better to rent a home or just to like you said, uh buyer's finance and things of that nature?
To be honest with you, I know there's like a lot of conflicting information about this. Um, to me, I think that it's better for you to own a home. It does come like there are expenses that you have to pay,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but essentially you're taking your money and you're putting it in a savings account every month. Okay. If you have a lot of money, like then yeah, like rent if it's what you know what I'm saying, if it's gonna be easier for you, you don't want to own a home. But if you're trying to build wealth, owning a home is like the first step to doing that. On average, homeowners versus people who rent an apartment, homeowners have $398,000 more wealth.
Mm.
That's on average. So like
Um,
your home, because you've got like you know what I'm saying, you've got a property that's an asset. And if something happens, you have an emergency or something, you could go to the bank and you can
and
take
yeah,
out a home.
loan against home. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
then you become, you know what I'm saying? You're able to borrow against that. You have
uh,
built up equity. You're never going to build equity in an apartment. So if you're living in an apartment or you're renting, um, you have to be even more diligent about saving
exactly.
because you don't have that to fall back on.
Exactly. That makes so much sense. People think of it in reverse, like, oh, I'm renting, so I'm gonna be saving, because I'm not really like I don't have to pay all this extra um fees or extra utility
Or like yard maintenance,
the
all this
maintenance.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And really the better thing to do is like a lot of people are house hacking now. And to me, for like younger people, I think that if you can, you can buy a home that has like, you know what I'm saying, like two houses or like a property that has two houses, or you rent out like space in your home, then you turn that into a way for you to make money. So then,
Yeah,
you know, that's just something I think like is a really good thing to consider when you're purchasing something, because not like all properties can you add like a ADU, like a addition. Um, but if you can add, you know what I'm saying, like an addition onto your home or like behind your home, it could be even like a tiny house. Like,
yeah. Airbnb.
you know, yeah, you're making something off of it
Yeah,
where like that can help you pay your mortgage. So I definitely think that young people who are, like buying their first home, it's a good thing to look at. Or even there's like um you can get it's 1 to 4 family for single family, so you can actually have like a quadplex and still get a regular loan for it, or seller finance. Like there's and it doesn't ever hurt to ask somebody, right? Like I think that's where the fear like part comes in, is like being scared. But if you really want something, you reach out to the person, especially like if somebody's um doing like for sale by owner, or it doesn't hurt to ask that person, hey, would you be willing to do this? And then if you have like those, like different space, like duplex or something like that, like you can definitely turn that into, rental income. And then later down the road, when you buy another house, you can rent both sides of it.
Of course, and then have
But
the person or have whoever the entity who's living in there pay for the expenses of,
mortgage.
yeah.
Yeah, you're basically, so that's another thing is I always tell people, I'm like, don't go buy like a lot of people when they buy their first home, they want to like go build something, or they want to buy the most expensive home they can afford, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the better way to do it, in my opinion, is to buy like the cheapest house that's going to fit your needs so you can get it paid off faster. And then you can take that money, rent that house, and then go buy another house. Or you can even borrow against that house
Mm-hmm.
to put the down payment on, you know what I'm saying, your next house. So
Yep.
then when you put a renter in there, the renter is basically just paying off your down payment on your new home
Exactly.
and put it in my pocket. So
It's like Monopoly.
it is. I actually just said this the other day. I was like, you know what? I'm playing real life, real world Monopoly. Like that's my goal, is to like, look at it like it's a game, not like it's so, you know,
Like black and white, like you have to do this and you got to, like, it's literally a video game. That's what it is. That's
it is
it.
really it is like, and we actually, I mean, we create our own, we create our own reality. Like that's definitely um something that I believe. And I think that's really where like meditation for me has come in to
Mhm.
play, because it allows me to clear my head so that I'm able to see what I want clearly, and also like put that out into the universe so that the universe can bring that back to me.
100%. Okay, so you are a firm believer in affirmation and manifestation.
100%.
Well,
Definitely. Like I try to start my morning every morning by just like clearing my head. I do this gap meditation. It's
hmm
really hard to do at first, but you basically, the goal of it is to think nothing. And if you can only do it like for a couple of seconds, it will, I don't know, it changed my life. Like it was like I had all these thoughts like spinning and spinning in my head. And then after I learned how to do that meditation, it was like I could see the thoughts slowing down. So like a lot of what I was thinking subconsciously, I was able to then change those thoughts.
yeah, yeah. Creating your protecting your reality that you want to actually achieve. This is really good. This is good. Okay, so now this is a kind of a fun, interesting transition or question. Is um what what would you say you have learned from my generation compared to your generation, Gen Z and Gen the millennials?
I think I think Gen Z is more open-minded. I work with a lot of younger people. Like I have some investors that I work with that are like 18, 19 years old.
Wow, it's brilliant.
They're they don't have the fear. It's like they're not as programmed
Mm-hmm.
as, as we were. Like we were really programmed into like, okay, you have to follow this path. You have to go to school, go to college, you know, get married, qualify for a bank loan. Like this
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
this is the only path forward for you.
yeah.
Um, but I think that y'all's generation is really like creating your own path.
Okay. Like first player, what it ready first player one or something, just being in a
Yeah.
creative process. Yeah, my generation is definitely and you guys were the ones that paved the roadmap, right? The birth of the internet started with your generation. At the same time, there's that creative aspiration that we have. We took it to another level. Okay, that's good. I can see that. I can definitely agree with that assessment, 100%. So now, have you ever sacrificed something so greatly to achieve a dream of yours?
I mean, I think that everybody has to sacrifice. I mean, I've definitely sacrificed time with my, you know what I'm saying, with my family,
Mm-hmm.
with my, um, but I mean, for the most part, I think that everything works out the way that it is supposed to work out.
Okay.
Like, I do feel like definitely, or I did for a long time, I felt like, oh, like, kind of like I was, I don't know, like I was waiting for my life to start.
Mm.
Like, I know that probably sounds weird, but um,
And you had the keys in your hands the whole time.
yeah, that's the crazy part. So when you realize that part, that can be hard to process too. And then that's something like I have friends of mine that like when I'm talking to them, they're going through like a challenging time or whatever. Um, that's what I kind of try to remind them. We always have the opportunity, like anything that you want to do right now, it doesn't matter what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you want to do right now, you have the tools to start today. That's empowering. Like to know that you don't have to have all the pieces. But once you start putting it together, the universe is going to respond to you by bringing you what you need.
Amen. That's true. That is very true. Put yourself in the right positions. Universe is gonna, universe God gonna support you as long as you're making that progress towards what you end to, the outcome, what you are designed to achieve. Okay, so now, what message would you give your younger self if you could go back?
Be patient,
Okay.
like enjoy more of the just like day to day or like living in the moment. Like, I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, just stand still and not do, you know what I mean? Like not do anything. Don't just wait for it to come to you, but be patient with the process. Like, I don't know, some of the quote unquote like worst times in my life or most challenging times in my life have been honestly like when I look back, like I miss them. Like I actually enjoyed, you know what I mean?
Exactly. You miss those impactful memories that you made with people. But you didn't grow up too fast, right? You had a stable, decent childhood. Would you agree?
I mean, I don't know if I had a I really I in a way like I feel like in a way I feel like I was I don't know if I really had a childhood to be honest with you. I feel like I kind of had to be the adult. Like I really didn't a lot of times I didn't have parents that believed in me, okay? Like that's the biggest thing. I think that um believing in yourself is something that's so huge, right? That goes
Mm-hmm.
back to the fear thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't grow up in I didn't grow up in the kind of household where I was told like you can do anything, believe in yourself. Like I was I had a my dad was very like verbally abusive when I was
Mm-hmm.
young, and so that plays in your head. Like if you have somebody telling you, you're never going to amount to anything,
Mm-hmm.
like one of my dad's favorite lines was, "You have your head up your ass. You're never going to amount to anything." And I heard that like almost every single day of my life.
Wow.
So you know, when you are trying to be in the business world or trying to whatever, like you need to have faith in yourself. You need to have
Or
confidence.
of course.
So that's really like where like that reprogramming, like what I told you, like with me meditating and things like that, like I had to, get to that place where I was able to switch that,
Definitely
you know.
unlock that version of your true potential. Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
You did good. You did good, and you have a resume that speaks for itself. With that being said, this was a fantastic conversation that I enjoyed having with you. And any last like remarks that you would like to give for the youth pertaining to?
Yeah, absolutely. Just like the biggest thing is just believe that anything is possible and don't let anybody tell you, that you can't do something, or, that's their own projection.
Okay. Well,
Just keep moving forward, and like eventually like what you want, it will come to you. And you don't have to have anybody, you don't have to have a good family like background support system or whatever. If you don't have that, go create that with your friends. Like surround yourself by people who support you and lift you up.
well said, Amy. And I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors and